Back to another Askari cast. My name is Rod Van Blake off the Ancient Illuminations series, the Umbani Chronicles, and I'm joined once again by Jordan Purnell Jackson.
Hey, everybody.
He's the creator of the Eve of Insurrection comic, also the graphic illustrator of the Ancient Illumination graphic novels and the soon to be released Umbani Chronicles comic, as well as the Jericho's Bane comic. And also with us again today is Andrea Rose Washington.
Hello.
She is the author of Adalithia, Elendil, and Almond Tree's Magic, working on sequels as well. So if you're into sci-fi and fantasy books, check her out. All of her books are available. My books are available as well, and Jordan's are available through him directly. Today, we are back again to talk about Halo on Paramount Plus. Last week, we discussed the introductory episode, I think was Contact was the title of the first episode, where the Covenant came into the planet Madrigal. And today we're going to be talking about episode 2, which I believe is titled Unbound. And we are kind of reintroduced into this Soren character, which is one of my favorite characters of the series thus far. Just because he's interesting. And I did a little research on him to find out how he got into the Spartan 2 program. Spoiler alert for anybody who hasn't seen episode 2, we're given a flashback of him and young John, where it's obvious that Soren is unhappy and he decides to basically peace out on the UNSC and just leave. He's going to go AWOL or UA if you're in the Navy and Marines, unauthorized absence. He's going to leave his post and bounce. Which is a change from the actual lore of the character, which he actually has kind of a tragic story. In the timeline, we're kind of at the point where we've gone off planet, we're out of the Milky Way, and his parents decided to settle on one of these previously uninhabited planets, and his father sets up basically a bootleg farm, which is unregistered. And as a result of them being unregistered, the wife gets sick by something that's there on the planet. And since they haven't officially registered, I think he can't go get official medical help. Mom's ends up dying. And he doesn't tell Soren, he doesn't tell his son. And some weird mess happens where he locks the body of the mother away. The son eventually finds out and thinks the dad has killed the mother, and so he attempts to kill his father with a knife, doesn't succeed, and homeboy just leaves out, goes out in the wilderness, survives on bugs and berries, and watches the dad from a distance, where he didn't end up killing his dad, but his dad eventually gets the same sickness his mother got. He dies, and then he ends up going to foster care, where he runs into Halsey. This is where there's a major difference between the two characters of maybe not when we find out more, because we're starting to get these flashbacks from John to see if he has a similar thing where how she came into contact with him. But for what I know, the information I read up on Soren, he's one of the few that was given a choice. He was given a choice of whether to join the UNSC. And then once the Spartan program picked up for the Spartan 2s, he was asked and given a choice again whether he wanted to go through enhancement. And this is kind of where the stories in this TV show diverge. In the show that we get, he leaves of his own accords. He basically goes AWOL. He just jumps ship and bounces. In the original story, there's similarities because the enhancements physically mess him up, but he basically washes out, which means he didn't make the cut to finish the program and just fails out of the Spartan 2 program. So there are differences there. What did you guys think of Soren in this flashback scenario they give us?
I liked him. I liked how the actor was able to one, I liked the character, that he was a free thinker and he was like, look, nah, this ain't for us. We need to go. But I also like how the actor was able to play off the mannerisms of the older Soren as well. Because
Woodburn,
that actor, because he has a very unique voice. Has a raspiness to it. And that even though the young one didn't have the raspiness, he sort of he was like imitating it in a way where it was like, okay, it could grow into that. So I liked Soren. I liked the younger Soren that he was setting up for himself, and he was just like, guy, you need to think for yourself. This ain't for us. Please,
Yeah.
let's go.
I was
I liked
I
him.
was I liked him as to add on to that. I liked him a lot. Just because he was that black guy that was like, nope. He was that woke black guy. I was like, I'm not for this. I need to be
Hmm.
free. This is my freedom, this is my liberation. I'm not going to be with this anymore. And I was surprised by his accent initially. Like when he grew up into like, he kind of gives me this like, kind of like American, kind of like cowboy. Like his voice is so like just
It's unique.
distinct. It's distinct. It was like I
Hmm.
wasn't expecting to hear this, so it was nice because I've heard Joaquin Woodbine before. Usually, like Andre, you said his voice is just kind of raspy, so I like nobody. I hear him in other properties and movies, and I'm used to that voice. So I was like,
Hmm.
"Oh, this is different." I was like, "This man has range." Like, yes, sound like a cowboy in space. Let's go for it. I'm happy. And to see his backstory was nice. And to see kind of like where he's kind of diverged and kind of has his own kind of like sovereign territory and area in space is really cool. And their whole like kind of like how they've kind of taken control of like these comets or celestial
Asteroid
like
belt. Yeah.
asteroids, and then like create these networks of tunnels and cable cars is very interesting. I'm like, this is cool. That's
He's lax though. He's affable. He's a likable character. He to me is like the complete opposite of John, because John's like
exactly.
he's like
Hmm.
blank slate, just kind of bland. He's
He's a
just staring
robot.
at you kind of awkwardly. Uh, I thought it was also funny when you see that Soren still has the Spartan 2 armor with his designation 066 on. He's just taking sort of the back pieces off of it. But I was thinking,
Hmm.
like, dude, 20 something years later, like me trying to fit into my old uniforms I had when I was in the Marines, and he's just chilling with this breastplate on, and like it still fit like, yep, still got it. I can still get in this thing.
That's
I'm out
probably why
here.
the back pieces weren't on there.
I'm out
Yeah,
here. He's like, I can't wear this no more. I gotta alter it a little bit.
yeah, that was funny. The asteroid belt was cool with the whole installation. He's got this little black market trade thing going, and he's kind of too trusting to me, to John, um, given their history that we see. Homeboy's like, yeah, I'll give you 5 minutes, and he lets you break out. And there's a whole bunch of stuff that they kind of allude to or don't tell us here in the show of basically what he had to go through when he was on the run. Just
Yep.
and
Hmm.
now you just show up out of the blue with a known fugitive with a bounty on her head because you're not on the run. So he's like, man, what's going on? Like, so I think when we were talking last show about the first episode and me saying that I didn't think they should have taken his helmet off this soon, perhaps now we're trying to gradually give us this humanizing transformation. Like he's taking off the helmet. You see Soren drop this little nugget in his ear, like that pellet in your back.
Mm-hmm.
It numbs you so that your emotions aren't fully functioning. And John's still like he's taking the training or the jargon from that programming, like it takes away distractions. He's like, no, dude, you can't even taste this fruit right now because
Hmm.
These mangoes, these
this shit is
cantaloupe.
delicious, and I can't even get hardly no reaction
Mm-hmm.
from you. So yeah, I like Soren. I'm interested to see how him and his family and stuff plays out. Um, we also get another peek at Maki. I think that was what's her name, right? The blessed one, the one
Hmm.
that's
Yeah, the blessed
TV
one. I had
covenant.
no
She wants to retrieve this keystone and bring everybody to the ring. Well, at least the covenant. They want to get control of the ring, which we know are the Halo installations around. Um, what do you guys think about their dynamic with the covenant and the blessed one in this show?
I feel like they view her as a child. And not in the sense that she is like unable to take care of herself, but like she's their responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And it's like, because I guess the fact that they are allowing her to go lets me know that they do know that she's capable of taking care of herself.
Yeah.
but like they don't want her to be put in the position where she has to do that, where she has to fight someone off, that she has to um be out on her own. And granted, it could all be that they don't trust her and they don't want to risk her like losing her to someone else. But I got the vibe that they really, maybe they're just really that good at selling their creepiness and their evilness.
Mm.
But I got the vibe that they cared about her.
Mm.
Like honestly cared about her, and they could be completely fooling me
Yeah.
with their charismatic, with their words. It
Mhm.
didn't come off as, no, you can't go because we need to sacrifice you. It came off more as, no, you can't go because I don't want them to sacrifice you.
Yeah.
I need to protect you.
Yeah, I agree. I feel that way. Like for me, it's she most definitely like it. She seems like a tool. Like she gives me like this is an important pawn piece or piece,
Mhm.
chess piece on the board that we need to protect because, like you said, like you don't want the USNC to get control over it. And I think, and that makes sense for what they're doing with the story. Just like I have this vibe, like she clearly has some value and she has some power or some parallel to John, which
Yeah.
is going to be very important going forward into the story.
Yeah, I think she's their what they believe is their ace in the hole,
Hmm.
and now they're even more curious because they found someone else who has not necessarily the same abilities, but the same effect on the artifact as she does. Because remember, they're kind of
Mhm.
interviewing the one Covenant dude that ran away, the elite that ran away from Master Chief, and like you saw him be able to do exactly what I was able to do with the artifact. Describe what you saw, and he's kind of giving his story, and then she starts talking. She's selling big wolf tickets to the rest of the Covenant, like, yo, let me go get this back. And then when they kind of balk at the idea, she starts like set tripping for the Covenant, like, oh, I'm part of y'all's gang, I'm down for the team. And you trying to test
Mhm.
my loyalty, you know what I'm saying? You trying to pull my card? And he's like, no, we trust you. We don't not questioning your loyalty, but you're too valuable to us to kind of
Hmm.
let you go
Mhm.
this far out of the fold. And it could be that they might be suspicious that she could be turned once she gets back into the fold of humankind and around her own people, that perhaps she could, switch sides and then give up the goods on them. Like, I know where their secret base is. I know what they plotting.
Mhm.
But she very clearly expresses to them, which team she's on and what color she's flying for everybody. So it was interesting. Um, Once again, the stuff with Quan, not very interesting to me. Uh, I'm trying to figure out how she's getting control of drones that can see what's going on other planets from this
I
asteroid
don't think
belt.
it was hers. I think it
Yeah.
was theirs, and they were allowing her to use it.
Yeah, true, but I mean, it kind of speaks to the network that Soren has kind of developed. That's the case.
Hmm.
Yeah.
He's got eyes everywhere to know the movements on whatever planet from his little layer in the asteroid belt and his little, black market colony that he's got going there. It's pretty impressive that he has that reach. And why, if you don't trust John, you don't know this Quan girl from a can of paint, you do know she's a fugitive and that there's a bounty on her head. Oh, I'm just going to let her sit at this console and start looking through stuff. That doesn't make too much sense to me.
For Soren, it almost seems like he is optimistic
Mm,
that there's a change in John, because like we saw when in the very beginning and like the little flashback, we could see that like he was hurt that John could not fathom running away,
yeah,
like that with him. And then now he's like, oh, John's back and he's bringing someone here for protection. Like that's I feel like he knows that that's not how the group would have done something. They would have just done an all out attack. And so the fact
yeah,
that John's there, took off his helmet in front of other people, it's like walking around, he's not attacking. He's like, oh, let me just mush this heavy thing out the way that you guys think is going to block me. He's like, yeah, you need to protect her. I think Soren is seeing that as he's taking it as like a grain of, okay, you're seeing the light.
yeah,
And because you're seeing the light, I'm going to help you out.
yeah,
Um,
Yeah.
And then also, I feel like the only reason he kept Quan is because the guy who took over is basically in the pocket of the people he hates. So he's like, "Well, I
Mhm.
can't let you go back there because you also want." It sort of like works like, "Well, you've already been here. Now you know where we are. I can't let you go back
That's what I was
there."
thinking too. Yeah.
So it's like I don't want you to die because like I don't want you to die for this people, and rather, regardless of the fact that I agree with you or I like you or I want you here, I need you to stay because it makes sense.
Yeah.
Can I just say, I'm so sorry. Don't laugh at me. This planet name, every time I hear it now, makes me think of the musical.
When we hear Madrigal,
Yeah,
I
from
thought you were gonna say
Encanto.
Madripoor from the MCU.
No,
oh,
makes me think of Encanto.
Okay.
oh, I'm avoiding that.
And so every
Oh,
time they said
goodness.
the planet name in the first episode, and every time they said in this one, I'm just like, the song pops in
Mm-mm-mm.
my head.
Yeah.
But
And
no,
the
I
other,
like Soren.
yeah, I like him. The other Spartans are forming up just like I thought they would.
Yeah, I
Um,
was thinking about what you said last week, and I'm
Even
like,
when you
they
see in
are.
the second episode, like they have no idea what's going on, and I'm like, we don't care. Halsey's always got a plan. John's always got a plan. Don't worry about it. Let the bodies fall where they may. We'll sort it out later. We just need to keep eyes and ears on Master Chief and worry about the rest later. But they're not. They don't seem to be aligning themselves with everyone else. That they're following along until they won't. I think that's going to be their ending storyline. They'll keep going along with Halsey when they see that it's their goals are aligned as far as getting back with Master Chief and getting back on mission. Until one of those things end up conflicting with that, I think is where we're going to see where their true loyalties lie. But still, even though he's missing, he's MIA right now. Uh, they don't seem to be questioning him at all. Like not even him. I mean, they may question what exactly he's doing because they don't know, where he's going with this. They questioned him in episode 1 when he decided to split off from them, but
Mm-hmm.
there was very little hesitancy with, she's like, that's not regulation. He's like, yeah, I know, but this is what I'm doing. All right, bet. And there's no further questioning. They just go do it. Now it's like we don't know where he is, and I don't know what the brother's name is, the bigger brother with the deeper voice. Like,
So I can look them up.
Holly's always got a plan. Don't worry about it. You just stay on task, and they're like, all right, bet. And they just
Vanek 134.
Vanek, okay.
Vanek 134. But how do you feel about the relationship? Kind of like, I guess, how Halsey's moving in relation to the USNC with the Cortana program.
She's
Don't
just
trust her.
she's the
Don't trust her.
proverbial mad scientist
Okay.
right now. She, all she cares about is her kind of scientific evolution of this program at any cost, no matter how crazy it looks to anybody on the outside. If Master Chief would have went off and shot a bunch of people, hey, don't worry about it. I got this new AI. We're gonna fix it. Don't worry about it. And to be honest, the Halsey military politics between the military and their family dynamic with the admiral and her daughter, I could really care less about, to be honest.
Yeah, it's kind of dry. It's very like it's not convincing, or it's not like an interesting kind of like storyline right now. Like, I don't know. She has a weird relationship with her daughter, which is like, well, this kind of like this. That's unfortunate, but I feel like they're not spending time trying to like make that relationship, or that even they're sort of they almost feel like they are, what's the word I'm looking for? There's not distrust, but there's kind of a disconnect between this mother and daughter, but it doesn't feel like very believable in a way.
So there's only two options because of how they're setting it up. Either they're going to go through something, and then the daughter's going to be like completely and utterly get on her mother's side, and like betray her father because her father's probably not going to agree with their mother, and then or she's going to basically like defect and like
That's
go
what I
against
feel like.
Yeah.
Because her mom's already kind of like remember, I think they brought up when Miranda was talking to Admiral, is it Parangoski? I can't remember if I'm pronouncing her name correct. Admiral Margaret Parangoski, about like her mom taking away some type of artifact or some type of data. And
Yeah.
so this for sure feels like she does, like it feels like Miranda's is kind of losing control, or like she clearly
Mhm.
wants to be a part and help, but her mother is just like slighting her and sliding the USNC at the same time. So it's like, I think this is going to be her defecting, Andre. I could see
And
it.
they've got multiple UNSC members basically pitting them against each other, like purposefully. We got, don't worry about it. We're gonna set up this parallel team with your team, and while she's away, we're gonna have you working on the artifact. She's like,
but see, like that's the trope. That's the trope that like they always do. Like they always have one between a parent and a child. It's either they completely like they have friction in the beginning because the child doesn't really understand what the parent's doing. Yeah. And then eventually there's like, oh, I understand everything. Like, I'm so sorry. I lied to you, Mom. Like, I'm on your side again. Or is going to go on the very other end where she's like, I'm going to freaking kill you and destroy you. So, like,
I hope that happens.
Whenever it's like a parent and child, those like the two options they always do. Either like the kid completely forgives their parents and jumps on their side, or the kid is like, I can never forgive you for this. It's going to become like Luke and Darth Vader.
Oh yeah, that could easily happen. That could easily happen with Miranda and her father. Like I could see now their relationship. I see the bond there. So I could see like if she betrays like her father too, be like, oh whoopsie, like I'm gonna feel that one.
Yeah, Pops ain't gonna like that because they're both clearly in uniform too. I think they're closer. Dr. Halsey is clearly doing her own thing. She has her own resources that I think have been siphoned off from some of the other departments, which is why they're kind of scrutinizing her as much as they do at times. And when they come to arguing, like, look, we didn't give you the funding for all this mess, and it's not doing what you're saying is doing. Now your super soldier done went off and did whatever the hell he wants to do. You can't call him back. He took his helmet off. He done took off the little low jack on his ship, so we can't track him now. Like, how are we going to control something that we can't control that's far superior than the regular human beings we got here? So it's going to go a bunch of different ways. It has the depth that it can go a bunch of different ways, and it'll be interesting to see what they actually do with it. But those lines are either going to have to be strengthened. The storylines with this political stuff and the Quan storylines are going to have to be either beefed up to be of more importance and more substantive. That's in my opinion. Or I think you should just kind of divvy them, start to dwindle them out of the storylines so we can just get to the mainline story, because they're not really providing much to the rest of the show, in my opinion. It kind of comes to a slow halt when you hit those sections.
Yeah, this episode was not as fun as the first one.
Yeah. Not as much action, because we didn't have,
They got us. Bait and switch.
Yeah.
I'll give them this. It didn't seem like a full filler episode. So I'll give them that. It wasn't like a full filler episode. We did learn some information, but that's relevant to the story. But it just was like, you could have added this to the first one, and then you definitely could have added the second part of this to the next episode.
Very true.
But this was a very information-driven episode.
Yeah, we got all of our exposition.
Which coming off the first one.
Go ahead.
I was saying, coming off of the first one, I was expecting there to be like them flying through space, other people getting their ships off somehow, being like a little bit of a battle, and it was just like, I was expecting Soren to maybe betray him. No, which I'm glad he didn't, because that actor has a tendency to play characters that do that. I was expecting so many different little things to happen that didn't. And I was like, okay, this is just a purely informational episode.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you was expecting Jason's lyric. I'm tired of y'all telling me I'm keep messing up.
I was expecting, even when he arrived and was like walking through and like in full gear and everyone's like holding their guns on him, and I was expecting something, and it was just like, this is a purely informational episode.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, it's all relevant, but it was just like, okay, couldn't sneak in one little fight scene. The only real action was seeing people get murdered. Okay.
And that's going to be what we it's going to be kind of what we talk about when we come back in the second half. Let's take a brief break, and then we will talk to you in a few minutes. Welcome back to the second half of the Askari cast. My name is Rod Van Blake. I'm joined once again by Andrea Rose Washington
What up?
and Jordan Purnell Jackson.
Hey, everybody.
We are continuing our talk on Halo, the new show released on Paramount Plus, and we were just kind of getting into the UNSC and one of their little like board meetings. They seem kind of comfortable with tyrants ruling with the iron fist. Like they kind of nonchalantly mention it. Like the one dude's like, yeah, he rules with a bit more of an iron fist that we're used to, but we're getting the job done. And then another person dressed in like military UNSC garb is like, and the fuel prices have gone up, and other
Yep.
planets have taken notice, and they've all fallen in line. They seem like pleased with what's going on, not seeing the backlash that's going to be coming.
Like the dude was openly murdering people in the streets. I mean,
Executing them.
yeah, executing. Thank you.
Bags on heads.
And then had the
Pistol
nerve to take one off to look at someone. Okay, I'm just
Was
sorry.
that the woman? Wasn't the
Yes,
one? Wasn't the
it was a
one?
woman.
It was a woman.
He just
looked
smirked
at
at her.
her.
He's like,
He's,
And
what?
I'm like, how do you explain that away as just like, like that wasn't a humane execution. That wasn't because he was singing a little rhyme.
oh yeah.
And it was like he was having fun. He enjoyed. Like I understand in war people die, there's executions, like there's all that stuff. But if someone is smiling and giving you a little bit of a little rhyme that he had to create himself, because I know that was not just something that the city knew. Like beware of the guy, and when and then he stole our hydrogen or whatever, however it went. And he was just shooting people in the head. He was having too much fun. I would be worried about that because that tells me that guy is unhinged.
Mm-hmm.
That tells me he's not just getting people in line, he's terrorizing them. And terrorized people do not fall in line for very long, because eventually they're like, look, I'm tired of living this under this oppression. It's not even a fake semblance of democracy, or like, don't worry, you're not going to be murdered in the street like a dog. Like, don't terrorize people, and he is enjoying terrorizing people.
Yeah, not to mention the optics of everything and them wanting to put out propaganda. Remember, when they first got Kwan, they wanted her to put out a little video, espousing the heroics of the Spartans and the UNSC coming to save them from the Covenant. But they're letting this image fly of dude just shooting people point blank in the streets, him being in full uniform with all his troops. That's not going to bode well for the other colonies that aren't, in the fold within the UNSC. It's not going to make them want to join. They're going to continue to rebel and fight, and that makes no sense. But I guess they're just happy because their pockets are being lined, because fuel prices have gone up, so they're cool with it.
Sorry, go ahead, Jordan.
I said it's. I mean, when I saw that, when they kind of mentioned that in that kind of boardroom, chamber room, whatever, it very much speaks to just like capitalism, or just like the government, America, whatever, any first world country and their government, how they kind of like they have vested interest in keeping certain countries or smaller countries in line and functioning a certain way, and then that is obviously affecting the economy of the world and benefiting USNC. So I'm like, it seems believable. Seems very believable. Yeah.
It was just an interesting observation when I rewatched the second episode earlier and seeing them, and I guess I had missed it the first time. The conversations, they were the conversations that they were having prior, after seeing old boy just shooting people in the streets, and then them kind of nonchalantly mentioning it, that he's a little too harsh, but he's getting the job done. And they bring up something else too when Halsey is being asked, how are we supposed to believe in this new AI system if you can't control the one that's the precursor to this AI system with the Spartan program? And then old girl brings up flash cloning is now illegal. We've already seen, as an audience, the bald-headed Cortana sitting there that's actually flash cloned from Halsey to look exactly like her. And obviously, so like, okay,
Creepy.
creepy.
Yeah.
And the fact that they're letting us know that she illegally, I guess because she did it to herself, maybe that's the only thing that can kind of exonerate her, that it's not like taken involuntarily from someone else's DNA to flash clone it into this thing. Like, look, I did it on myself. Like, this is my own DNA. I own it. You can't tell me what to do with my biological material. So
That's agency right there.
Yeah. But
well, in certain governments, they do.
Yeah. But
Welcome
you
to being
see,
a woman.
Yeah.
you see that they don't fully answer the question when the one, I don't know what her name is, but she brings up the illegality of flash cloning. And before we can get her to say yes or no, I did it illegally, or I think she asked, did you find a way around that? Flash cloning is illegal. Did you find a way around it? And before she can answer, one of the other officers step in, like, well, yeah, that's enough for today. I think we've got some good notes. Let's continue talking. But clearly, I think I was right with this version of Halsey. Like, she don't care. She's like, I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get knowledge by any means necessary. And I see now that John's gonna fly the coop. I think she's really going with John later on to keep tabs on him, because that's like her asset. Because the other thing that was brought up was, how can we punish Master Chief? And the one officer's like, well, we got to punish him somehow. And the other officer's like, he's like the symbol to us in this war. You punish him, you're going to lower the morale of the troops in this ongoing conflict that's going. And how are you going to kind of reconcile that? Are we going to elevate one of the others? I guess they don't say that, but I'm thinking that's probably what they could do, is elevate one of the other Spartans to be the face of the war. But like I said, from what I've seen, they're more loyal to him than anything. So I don't know if that would work.
Can I just say that entire thing of him going back I was just like, are you serious? No. What? Seriously? You're just going to go back to these people? Like,
I feel like it's like
not even like a couple of days. You didn't even fly to another part of the universe and maybe come back from another angle. Like, but you just John.
You came the same way.
Like, seriously, you're just like, I got to go back to them. Really? When they were so quick to like try and kill Quan, which you didn't stand for. There's something wrong, which is why you are where you are right now. You're in the rubble. You're with Soren because there's something wrong. And so you decide to take something of unknown immense power back to people that you fully don't trust right now.
Yeah. I think it's a matter of resources in addition to that lack of trust. He knows, obviously, I don't think he's going to trust old crazy boy in the jail cell on the asteroid belt.
Can we talk about?
Yes.
Were you, Andrea? Let's start. Were you surprised to see him again? The old peddler from
the peddler from Wheel of Time.
That was not him.
Yes, it was. He had the same messed up teeth, the same hairstyle. They didn't even try to make him look different. I mean, besides him crawling on all fours.
Oh well, no, never mind. That was
wild.
I was on the same network, but that's Prime. This is Paramount. I didn't realize that was him.
That was him.
Yeah,
I didn't realize that was him.
Being insane, and I was like,
he played it really well.
Yeah, I was like,
put him crazy.
I was like, wow. I'm like, this guy's back, and I'm like, he's making me feel weird. Like, he's just real shifty. He's crawling around on fours. I'm like, what is going on? Hurry up, get this scene over with. He's too good at acting.
Maybe that's what did it though.
What you say?
Maybe that's what did it. Like, I can deal with this dude who was captured by a Covenant ship, and he knows things and sees things according to Soren. Or I can go back to Halsey, who's got all this money and backing of the military, who may be able to find me the answers I need. I just may have to twist some screws to kind of try and do things my way amongst them. But I'm definitely not trusting this old crazy brother in the jail cell.
He's doing weird stuff.
I need answers.
But that strategy makes sense, Andrea. Like, he's basically acting like he's acting like he's really falling in line with the USNC, and he wants to do what they want to. But he's actually just going to defect. I mean, he's going to just sneak in, get the information he needs, and then rebel.
You really think he's not going to be watched like a hawk? Like, always?
But he is. He knows he is. I think we all know that. I think he knows that.
Yeah.
And I don't believe that they would ever give him a straight answer anymore.
That's true.
Like, maybe if he came back, Like they can give him something, but there's no guarantee that they're going to give him a straight answer, because Halsey cares about the tech in him. She
Yeah.
doesn't care
That's
about
true.
him.
That's true. Yeah.
And so I think she is that, like, I feel like the reason she didn't want him killed was because what he was worth to her, not
Yep.
what he meant to her.
Yeah.
Because I could definitely see almost like a Bucky Barnes situation where they just they wipe his mind, and start him over because, like, oh, you remembered Captain America, that's not good, so let's go ahead and wipe your mind again. I feel like it's going to be that situation. And so I'm like, have they ever given you, John, a reason to believe that they care about you and not what you can do for them? Because, like, or I guess if you went back, maybe another episode, but like the fact that this all happened basically in one continuously long day, because we don't know how much time sort of jump between, but it's like literally they had guns trained on you, and then you fly away. You're confused, so you would go back to the people who literally had their guns trained on you. And at the moment, you didn't know that they weren't trying to kill you, that they just wanted you to come in. As far as you know, they were going to like just blow you up.
He may not know though. He may not, because he's still got his inhibitors. He may have a problem with discernment of what's real and what isn't, and he's probably just going to the more reliable of the two sources. Like I said, between the choice between Crazy Boy and Halsey, he probably can choose Halsey. Plus, you got to figure they're the prototype. The Spartans are like, y'all are all inferior to us. If this is how much firepower you pull out for one, once I get back with my crew and there's 4 of us together, literally nothing any of y'all can do in their minds. You know, that we're the apex predator among all these military folk. All 4 of us can wash all of y'all. And obviously he proved that he could effectively get out of their clutches even when they did have everything set up and waiting on him. My boy just, disconnected the low jack, used the artifact to jumpstart the ship after the Pelican, after they like flash it with like an EMP to bring it down, and then bounce. So he's like, I did it once. If I want to, I could do it again. But I need that info because it's giving me flashes of what I think is my childhood and don't know. And I need those answers. And he feels like that's the most reliable place to go to get them.
I feel like he's going to be heartbroken. Maybe not heartbroken. I feel like
he has no emotions.
Yeah,
he already has no emotions practically. Yeah.
He's going to be let down because I don't see Halsey telling him the truth. I see Halsey's daughter telling him the truth to undercut her mother.
Yeah.
But I don't see Halsey telling him the truth because she freaked out when he told her the memory, because she was like, that's his memory. Instead of telling him that, she's like, oh, there's nothing. Come back in. So I just want her to get shot in the head and die.
Yeah.
She's our villain. She's like one of our.
I need her shot in the foot, the ankle, the kneecap, the hip bone, the breastplate, then the head.
Oh, wow.
I do not wrist and the wrist.
The wrist?
Because
Andrea, what is happening right now?
That woman who does horrible things in the name for what she believes is right. I know her, like, she was willing to kill that little girl, Quan. Like, that woman's going to do something
makes her
awful.
A good villain. That makes her a good villain.
And that's why I want her shot dead horribly.
Are we talking about Halsey? Or are we talking about the other lady, the Indian lady? Okay.
Halsey. I want Halsey.
I don't really care about Admiral to Admiral. I don't really look at her as a huge threat. She feels like just the figurehead of the machine.
Wasn't she the one that ordered the killing though?
Was she given that order from somebody else? Or did she
I think
say
so, because it wouldn't have been Halsey. I don't think that's within.
No. Halsey. No.
I wasn't blaming the execution on Halsey, but I'm just saying I know Halsey is that person who'll do anything in the name of what she believes is right, no matter how depraved it could be to someone else. Oh no, they could all get shot.
Yeah.
And then the guy who was in the execution, that actor, he freaks me out because he always plays a really creepy character.
Yes, he does.
And I think there's only one character of his that he's ever played that I've enjoyed, that I was like, oh, I like this dude. He's a great actor, but God, that guy, what's his name? Burn
Gorman.
Gorman. He can get all those shots too, all to the joints because it hurts the most, and then he can die.
Yeah. I don't know. I really don't
Pacific
know.
Rim, that was the one thing I liked him in.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he was likable in that one. He was likable. He's a
Yes.
mad scientist technically in that one too.
I don't
Yeah.
think Halsey. I think she's more of a morally gray character. I don't think she
Mhm.
thinks in terms of black and white. She only thinks in terms of the science. So, when we're thinking about the lives that are going to be lost, she's thinking of the end result, and in her
Hey,
mind, she seems like she's the saleswoman. Like, this is going to improve so
Mhm.
much more if you just
Mhm.
let me do this.
that's the lie she believes.
That's going to cost a whole bunch of money, and we may get some folks killed. Yeah, but think of the progress. That's what she's.
In her mind, the ends justify the means.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She
did
seemed
100
to-
people die for us to complete this? Yes, but those lives were in the betterment of society.
Exactly.
And it's like, Halsey, you killed 100 innocent people for the betterment of society.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on now.
She's gonna die on that hill, and I think once things become clear to the daughter, that's when she's gonna be like, "Oh, mom, you done messed up really bad, and now you have to
Mhm.
kind of clean this up." And I don't know about the Adam's gonna be like, "I told you, mom was crazy,"
She
because
crazy.
he doesn't seem to really get in between things. I mean, he's aware of
Captain
how,
Keys.
yeah, he's aware of how things are going, but he doesn't seem to really step in and do anything. But you would think, as a patriarchal figure in between mother and daughter, he would try and regulate some of that because it's going.
Are they actually still together? Are they actually together or are they like
even if they're
separated?
not together,
they're-
they're
I'm
still
getting
mother
the
and daughter.
vibe.
Yeah,
No, I'm referring to Captain Keys and Halsey. Like, are they separated? Because they're giving me that vibe. We never see them be intimate.
no, we don't.
They're not giving me like it would
We
have been
won't.
interesting if we got that. Like they were this kind of like actual nuclear family in a way, but really they're just. But they all feel estranged in a way. Besides Captain Keys and his daughter. It's like I don't even know how much screen time we really get with Halsey and Captain Keys. They're always separate for the most part. So
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah. I don't think
It's
this is a
awkward.
happy family. It's all awkward.
It-
It's awkward.
But even
yeah.
if they're separated, you would think he would see the train wreck coming between his daughter and the mom, with the other parts all moving around in their orbit. You could just see that, oh, this is going to come to a bad head when push comes to shove, and one of them does get the actual artifact and leaves with it or activates it somewhere, and the other one is left out because they weren't a part of the other's plans.
Mhm.
And this new, I don't think this parallel teams thing is going to work out in the end, because one of them is going to pull rank or pull resources or just
Mhm.
plain old steal whatever it is the other's trying to study so that they don't have access to it. And then they're going to have conflict over that, which, if this keystone leads them to the Halo, it'll be interesting to see how that all culminates, especially with them. And I want to see more of the Covenant. What?
What did you just say? What? Why are you?
I just got that.
Yeah.
Halo.
Yeah.
The ring.
It's the ring. Yes.
Yeah,
I just got that.
that's funny.
I'm so sorry. It just
It's
clicked
okay,
that those
buddy.
are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of that, I don't know why, but my animation brain clicked on when the one Covenant dude was talking to the Blessed One. She's like, "What did you see?" He does this weird weird body gesture where he clearly makes the ring and then like impresses his finger at the top. I'm like, what was the? That was weird, and it just really looked weird animation wise. I'm like,
Maybe it was like weird
was that,
Covenant sign language.
yeah, it was like weird Covenant sign. Like, why you got to go?
He was
like
drawing it. It was a ring,
No,
and then it was a button you could press
this-
the top.
Yeah, the button you press at the top. The Halo's just a giant ring. What is the got to do with that? It's just a
It was
ring. Just
something
draw
that
the
was
ring.
there. He was like,
That was bothering. So that bothered me. I'm like, your gestures, sir, are doing too much. Just draw the ring. You don't got to add an oomph on it, man. Like,
That was
give
an
it-
emphasis right there.
Yeah, he was like, I'm like, okay, buddy, chill,
Got to
bro.
put his stank on it right
Chill,
there.
bro,
And
like-
right there is where I saw
Yeah.
him do it.
He didn't done it there. Like, what, bro?
The demon has arrived and he can activate the artifact just like you can. And that's what he did to it. He was around here. We used to. He said,
It was right there.
the
Well,
lights
how did
started
how did
going.
y'all feel about how it ended? How the episode ends with Master Chief's decision to go back, but also leave Quan.
She was gonna be
Thought it was
baggage.
dumb.
What?
Leaving her.
Wait a
No,
second.
sorry.
Leaving her back
No,
was
leaving
dumb,
her.
Andrea? What do you
Leaving
mean?
her was correct. Yes, leaving
Yes,
Quan was
that's really
correct.
what I mean. That's really what I
that was
talk about.
correct.
Her leaving. I was so happy when that happened. I was like, yes, she's not doing anything in the story. Leave her.
I mean,
Master Chief, go do stuff.
well,
Do cool
I
stuff.
think she's gonna be important to the people of her home world, Madrigal.
Yeah, she
So,
is.
like,
She is.
But like, if he brought her back to the planet, it would have made no sense.
That would have been a waste of time. Made no sense exactly.
Yeah.
Well, they would have killed her.
Yeah, they would have killed her. So, like, he could not bring her back.
Yeah.
So like he couldn't bring her back.
Yeah.
But
it's also annoying.
It makes
arguing
sense to leave her because one, she is still a child.
Mhm.
We see that Soren is a parent. He looks like he's a good parent because his son is like, "Hey, Daddy, did you bring me anything?" And he's like, "Oh, yeah, I'm a pirate. That's what we do." So it's like it seems like he's a good father, or at least his son loves him. So he's not afraid of him.
Hey, it's nice to
His
see
wife seems like a very happy, high person.
So smoking that clarity.
Yeah.
Why don't you get a little bit of this? What's that? Clarity.
So I think after everything that she's been through, that she literally witnessed everyone she's ever met being murdered, basically, or possibly maybe not everyone she ever met, but everyone she like cares about in her home, in that home village of hers, murdered. She saw her father killed in front of her. So I think it's great to leave her with some semblance of a family, but also someone who can defend if need be. Like Soren has a whole setup that can defend them against Marines. Maybe not other Spartans, but can defend them if they send like a team of Marines to attack the place. So like he can protect her. It was a good thing. She needs to be safe. And he also knows that Soren's not going to turn over for the bounty because he doesn't support anything that supports the UNC. So USC,
UNSC.
US, yes.
We're gonna get to U and Unite. What does that mean, right? United what?
UNSC, yeah. I forget what the acronym is for right now, but yeah, he couldn't bring her back, especially when they gave the order to execute her because he was going to be taken off in cuffs and debriefed on what happened. And then what happened to Quan? And someone's going to be like, I don't know. She wasn't with you? I thought she was with you. Like, I think she's gone. Maybe she went back to Madrigal. I don't know. But they would have killed her because that's what the higher ups wanted. And then he would have felt bad about that. He's like, well, I didn't kill her and I brought her back just to have her off anyway. It's like, well, what was the use? I might as well have just killed her myself and kept it moving.
So yeah, it was good for him to leave her behind, but it was still dumb for him to go back, in my opinion. That is my hill that I will die on.
So where would you have him go?
Yeah, he's still loyal to you. You got to remember, Andre, he's still very loyal.
I know that there's really no place for him to go. I understand that and I accept that.
But you don't like
I just don't. Yes. I just don't like it.
I don't like it.
It just does not. They have no nothing good can really come of. And I hope I'm proved wrong in this next episode, and y'all can be like, "Ha, we told you." But I just don't see how you go back right after you betray like your people for literally no other reason than you decided to.
Yeah, they gave you an order you couldn't follow, basically.
Yeah.
But there's really no good place. He can go plenty of places, but none of them are going to solve his self-discovery. Because to me, what's happening now is he's going on a personal mission of self-discovery that this artifact has awakened in him. And now he's trying to reach back and connect the dots with this information. And his best chance, more than likely, to get that done is through the resources that Halsey has. So he can he can stay with Soren. Oh boy, in the little underground jail cell ain't gonna be able to help him. He can go somewhere else to see if someone else knows, but obviously, if they're the tip top of resources in the galaxy that they're in, they're probably the best odds he has for finding these answers. Even if and I think he's smart enough to be like, he can find the information, find his real upbringing, and then I think it's well within the character for him to hide that information from Halsey. but later on we know that's not going to be possible because they're going to eventually they're going to bring Cortana into the fold. That people who have played the game know it's an AI that goes everywhere Master Chief goes. I'm not going to get into that until we discuss the next episode because they actually have their interface is different from what we see in the games as in the show, which is interesting. But I think he would try and hide the info if he found out something super shady was going on with him. He would play along and pretend like he didn't really know, and then he might tell the other Spartans. And perhaps, I don't know, maybe they're all going to touch the artifact and see if that brings back memories from the other crew. And then all of them be pissed off. Like, oh, you took me when I was 7 years old or something, and wipe my memory from that age on. So all I know is this crazy military life among the stars. So I don't know.
I hope your version works out because my version just sees him being killed, which is not going to happen because he's Master Chief. But I know he's not going to die, but I just don't. Yeah, I hope your way happens, Rod.
That'd be
I
funny.
also hope the other Silver team defeats Halsey and just shoots her. I'm in a violent mood tonight.
That would be crazy if Silver turns around and like bucks up at them, or if they just let them. All right, you want to order us around? The Covenant starts attacking. They just, we taking off right now. We on break. Y'all don't trust us? All right. See if you can handle. There's 4 brutes and 3 elites in that next room. About to. Ooh, sounds like they're getting close. They got some type of energy sword that's breaching the door. What you gonna do?
Oh no, they killed half your squad. That's crazy. So anyway, like I was saying, so we're gonna go hang out tomorrow.
Yeah.
What are you guys gonna do?
Whatever information you want. Just save us. All right. We got that in writing.
I need the information first, though. Let me read it. We're dying. I'm reading. Please be quiet.
It'll be interesting how they tie in these. Like I know it's probably not going to happen, but I really do hope they dwindle some of these side stories down to make way for the real story. But that may not happen until we at least get to one of the Halo rings.
Do we know how many episodes they're gonna have in the series? 9?
Ooh, that's a weird number.
That's a little short. Okay, that's not short. It's not 6, but okay.
Yeah.
And apparently, there's already talk of season 2.
Okay.
Oh wow, they're going for confidence. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Now it's not confirmed, but there is talk of season 2.
Okay. They're probably good for it.
Yep. This goes May 19th.
Thank you guys once again for talking over this stuff with me. And for the couple of you that caught us on live, I see there are 2 viewers currently. I appreciate you taking time out of your day to watch with us. I'll be re-uploading the audio from this discussion to Anchor, and it will be disseminated to Spotify, Apple, Google Podcasts, and all the other places where podcasts are broadcast. And don't forget to check out Trek and Beyond,
a Star Trek podcast. Discover Discovery with us.
That's right, with Andrea Rose Washington and Monica Pinkett. And we will talk to you all next week.
Peace.